Better late than never. Here's my review of Wonka. We went and saw this movie as a family. I got 3 boys in December, late December last year. It's been the holidays and I'm finally getting around to talking about it. It actually was one of these movies that when I heard it was coming out, I was a bit nervous, or even heard that it was being made. I was a bit nervous about it because the original 1971 film is an absolute family favorite. I remember I bought the soundtrack to it when I got my license. I was driving around listening to the soundtrack. Something about that movie just was my childhood. Obviously, the 2005 version with Johnny Depp, it was exciting. I think Johnny Depp was riding high on the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, and I'm a big Tim Burton fan, so I was excited for that in a different way, and it sort of brought something new and told a different story in a different angle. Papa. This film, we saw the trailers come out, and it was leaning heavily into the design of the original film, and I was a little like, are they trying to sort of remake the backstory of the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka? The one thing that I held out hope for, not the one thing, there's lots of good things, but the director was Paul King and the co-writer with Paul King was Simon Farnaby. So those two are freaking brilliant legends behind the Paddington films. At least I know Simon Farnaby wrote the second Paddington as well. So they were the holdouts that made this really good film. I wasn't super stoked on Timothée Chalamet being Wonka, but now having seen the film, all my fears are set aside, or most of the fears. This is a really heartwarming film. It makes its own statement in the Wonkaverse. The Wonkaverse? I guess that's a thing now. But the Wonkaverse, I guess, now has a new edition of this really magical, much more musical theatre-y version than the original. It felt like we're leaning into things that were shot on big sets, and it's really, really colourful. I mean, the original film was too, but this, you open up with a young Wonka, Timothée Chalamet, arriving in town. He's really wide-eyed and a lot less world-weary than Gene Wilder's version. And I think that's a cool take on the character. And he's singing this new song, A Hat Full of Dreams, and jumping, leaping around. And you can see he's got a big heart. Gonna go on this journey. You get excited immediately. You set aside all your fears. I mean, by now, plenty of people have seen it. Tons. It's doing really well. So obviously this review is almost redundant, but it is really heartwarming. And it's a movie I'll enjoy rewatching when it comes out on streaming or Blu-ray. If anyone else buys all those things, I will. I really like Timothée Chalamet. He's really good. Obviously in Dune, he's really good. In this, he's really good as well. He does a fantastic job, a much better job than I anticipated when I heard he was going to be the young Wonka. Some of the other characters, I think there was a little bit of a sense that they maybe weren't the cinematic version of that character. They more were like a Broadway version, much more musical theatre-y in their performance. It wasn't bad. It's just, it was perhaps didn't feel like the movie version. And it didn't detract from it. Plenty of amazing characters in this movie. And the last thing I'd say, there's so many really good songs in this movie. I just don't know if there were some like real bangers that you just go, oh, that's the song I'm going to be hearing my kids singing around the house, which isn't really a fault in the movie, to be honest. It's just, you kind of hope that there might be one that sticks out. Maybe other households singing Hat Full of Dreams at the top of their lungs every single day, and that's not a problem. So overall, this is a movie with a great deal of heart. It looks really good. I think its central message, it's really powerful and really encouraging. And I do think that the emotional beats in the movie, especially towards the end with Willy Wonka's mother and another character's mother, it just really lands really well. And I mean, I was holding back tears a little bit, So good job to everyone who made this film. I heartily recommend it. If you haven't seen it already and you've got time in your January holidays over here in Australia, it's Christmas holidays. We have a long break now. So if you want to go to the cinemas, go and see Wonka. Thanks for watching this review. If you want to see more reviews of movies that have probably been out in cinemas or maybe not out anymore, I'll link them somewhere here. And subscribe and like and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to do more reviews and get out there. Have a good day. Gosh, I'm sweating like it is hot today.